The crazy part about the Switch is that on paper, it should have aged out way earlier than it did. By the end, you were looking at hardware that was not just behind current-gen consoles, it was behind hardware design philosophies from years ago. And yet, Nintendo still pushed the Switch to about 155.37 million units sold as of December 31st, 2025, with more than 1.5 billion software units sold. That is not, it did okay for old hardware. That is all-timer territory. And yeah, I do think exclusives are the #1 reason. Not the only reason, but the main reason. Because Nintendo does something most of the industry still struggles to do consistently. It makes hardware feel like the only doorway to specific experiences people actually care about. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe alone has sold 68.20 million copies. Animal Crossing New Horizons 47.82 million. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate 36.24 million. Breath of the Wild 32.81 million. And Tears of the Kingdom 21.99 million. Those are absurd numbers, and they show that Nintendo's first-party catalog was not just strong, it was system-defining. But here's the deeper layer. Exclusives worked because Nintendo's exclusives are not treated like one-week hype events. They are treated like evergreen products. Nintendo itself has said that in the Switch generation it struck a good balance, with many games becoming evergreen titles that continued to sell well over a long period of time, helping maintain the platform's momentum. That matters a lot because it means the value of the console does not collapse after the launch year. Someone buying a Switch in year 1, year 4, or year 8 still walks into a stacked library that feels alive. That is where a lot of more powerful platforms mess up. They sell you on specs first, then hope software carries the rest. Nintendo flipped it. The hardware was basically a toy box for software. A Zelda machine, a Mario Kart machine, a Smash machine, a Pokemon machine, a party machine, a family machine, a second console machine. That identity was instantly understandable. And when a platform is instantly understandable, old hardware matters less than people think. That is partly why Nintendo was still saying in 2025 that annual playing users remained above 100 million and that Switch sell-through kept pace even after the first-look trailer for Switch 2. Then you get into the psychological level, and this is where it gets really interesting. Most gamers online talk about hardware like enthusiasts: resolution, frame rate, teraflops, CPU bottlenecks, GPU classes. But the mass market does not buy hardware that way. The mass market buys outcomes. Can I play Mario Kart with my family? Can my kid use this? Can I take it on a trip? Does it have Animal Crossing? Does Zelda look magical? Is it easy? Does it feel worth it? Nintendo sold answers to those questions, not a tech sheet. And because of that, old hardware actually became an advantage in some ways. It was cheaper to produce, easier to understand, and less intimidating. Developers already knew how to build around it. Consumers knew what it was. Parents knew what they were buying. That kind of stability is underrated. People act like older hardware automatically feels obsolete, but to a huge audience, it just feels proven. By late in its life, the Switch was not a risky buy. It was the safe buy with the games everybody already knew. Nintendo's own data showed sell-through approaching 150 million even after Switch 2 had been teased, which tells you the platform had crossed into default choice territory for a massive audience. There's also a social layer here. Nintendo's biggest exclusives are incredibly watchable, shareable, and culturally sticky. Mario Kart is not just a game, it is an event generator. Animal Crossing became a lifestyle game. Smash becomes a group ritual. Zelda becomes a prestige adventure people talk about for years. So exclusives were not just driving purchases one person at a time, they were creating peer pressure. When enough people around you own the box for the same reasons, the hardware stops feeling optional. Another thing people underestimate is how Nintendo keeps widening the funnel around its IP. Nintendo has been very explicit that its business is not just about shipping a box, but about expanding access to its characters and worlds across media and touchpoints. By March 2026, the company was highlighting that it had sold over 6 billion games and more than 870 million hardware units over its history, built on franchises like Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, Animal Crossing, and others. That broader brand strength feeds right back into hardware demand, because those characters are not niche gaming brands anymore. They are global entertainment brands.